Alright folks, I'm gonna call this one Carson Toyota. I may be dumb, but I'm not stupid. And we'll find out why on this edition of Hippie versus Jock. Alright folks, sitting behind me is my 2006 Scion XB. I took it into Carson Toyota in Carson, California to get an oil change. I'm one of those weird car guys. I just purchased this car probably about 2 months ago. It's been only serviced by the dealer, so I figured I'll do the car a favor and keep that tradition up. For the most part, I'm one of those weird guys. I actually go out and buy synthetic motor oil, in which I did it this time. The synthetic motor oil I purchased is Royal Purple. 520 weight, just in case you wonder. Take my vehicle to Carson Toyota and get what they know is a minor service, in which I bring my own oil, explain to them, yes, I'd like you to put my oil in the car. Nevertheless, a couple things. Royal Purple has a slight purple tint to it. I brought 5 quarts. My car only takes 4 quarts. Scion XB owners, you can take a look and back me up on this, and I'll see about scanning the receipt, and that way you can see that I actually purchased this oil from AutoZone. Sure enough, long story short, I get my car back. You know, I checked the oil. Does anybody know what color that oil might have been? I'll show you in a little bit. For the most part, I had a brown napkin in which I could not see that the car didn't have the correct tint oil in it. I actually leave with my vehicle. Me and my other half go out to dinner. Before dinner starts, I decide, you know what? Let me check this oil with a white napkin just to make sure, because somehow my car used 5 quarts of oil, but it only takes 4 quarts of oil. Sure enough, it's not the correct color, folks. So automatically we have a problem. I send a text message off, in which I'll show you the text message also, to Carson Toyota. I send one to my normal tech, service advisor Tracy, and I also send one to a gentleman named Mike. Now Mike is a good guy. He actually used to be the service tech of my first 2 Toyotas I had back in 94 and 95. So, you know, Mike I thought was a pretty stand-up guy. Now, for the most part, I send this text message off because they actually send you a little text to say, hey, if you need anything, you know, let us know. So I sent this text message off to both Tracy and Mike. Tracy is my normal service advisor. Now, for the most part, I let them know that, hey, my oil isn't the correct tint. Somebody didn't use the oil in my car. I figured, you know, everything would be good. We'll get my oil in my car. However, I was told, yes, they did put the oil in my car. So, right now we have a problem. Number one, the oil's not the correct tint. It's supposed to be slightly purple. Anybody who uses purple, who uses Royal Purple, knows this. It's not slightly purple, folks. I go back to the dealer the next day. Hey, you guys didn't use the correct oil in my car. They bring me back 5 empty quarts of my Royal Purple and what used to have my oil in it. Sure enough, I explained to him, it was like, with the dipstick, as I'm actually going to show you guys. It's like, hey, it's like yesterday when I did this in front of you, I didn't have the correct color, so I couldn't tell. I had brown napkins. I couldn't tell with the brown napkins. Now I have white napkins. Thank you, McDonald's, or I don't know if I think I might have got them from McDonald's. Or maybe I got them from the place me and my other half went to eat, a Chinese food place on Pacific Coast Highway. But back to the story. I showed him exactly what I'm about to show you guys. And I was told that my oil tint shouldn't be purple because I had a high mileage motor. Now, keep in mind, folks, this is a 2006 vehicle. It has maybe 88,000 miles on it, maybe 89 now because I've driven it a little bit. That's not a high mileage motor for starters. Number two, I show him. It was like, hey, the oil that's in here has a slight brownish tint. It's actually pretty clear. It's only a small brown tint. And this oil, and I showed them because I actually went to Walmart and bought a 1 gallon thing of oil. And note to self, make sure you go to Walmart to buy this oil. It's a hell of a lot cheaper. If I buy it by the quart, it's actually $8.72 a quart. If I buy it by the gallon, this actually comes down to about $7.72 a quart. So a hell of a lot less if I buy it in the gallon. But anyway, I show him. It's like, hey, this one has a purple tint. And then I take out my dipstick, wipe it. It's like on the same thing. It's like you can see it's clearly a difference between these two oils. For some reason, he tells me that since I have a high mileage motor, that it's not supposed to be purple. Here's the engine bay of my 2006 Scion XB. Let's take a look at the oil, see what color it is. And I'm showing you guys the exact same thing I showed the gentleman. I have a white napkin. Last time I had brown when I showed them it, with the first time. I pull it. Now, you can see, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, there's clearly oil in the vehicle. I pull it. There's a slight, get this in camera, slight brown tint to it. The color oil normally is when you drive around a little bit. Now, the next jab of oil I'm gonna show on this thing is actually from Royal Purple, and you'll be able to see why I'm alarmed at the color. So give me a second, I'll be back.